If you've been waiting to see me drive my mom's old 2004 Honda Odyssey with the DIY transmission controller I made, along with the Series 2 ECU I installed in it, well, I've got news for you. The wait is finally over. Hello. I'm Tom. Everybody's been impatiently waiting to see the Odyssey hit the streets and tear them up, or tear up its transmission, and I don't blame any of you. This project has so many unknowns right now. I mean, either I could have something wrong with the ECU, and I throw a rod out of the engine, or I could have something wrong with the TCU, and I absolutely shred a gear. And since I wasn't able to drive until I got the transmission controller working, I wasn't able to work on the tune at all for the ECU. So not only do I risk possibly destroying the transmission like I already said, but I could even just have cylinder 6 knock its way all the way to heaven's door. With that said, let's talk about the work I had to do prior to taking it out on the road. Part of how I'm protecting my engine is by installing a wideband sensor. If you're not familiar, a wideband sensor is basically just an O2 sensor, but a higher resolution, so to speak. I won't go into much detail in this video on how to install one because I realize you're here to watch me drive the Odyssey, so I'll probably make a dedicated video on that a little bit later on. The reason why it's so important to have one is it is super helpful in making sure that you're not running way too lean, and as you probably know if you're familiar with tuning at all, running lean is a great way to cause engine knock. So at the bare minimum, having the wideband sensor allows me to remove one variable from tuning. Now that I was better able to ensure the safety of my engine, it was time to finally take this thing out on the road and give it a test. Okay, well, after I remembered to unplug my battery tender.
It's still plugged into the charger!
We're talking about, imagine rolling this thing off the showroom floor in 01 in 21 years.
Well, just think, this is such a nice car for 2001. Like,
it is.
well, first and second exist then.
Yeah.
Oh, my brakes are really warped.
That's a rough shift.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what's going on there. After it survived the neighborhood, we decided to take it out and see how it sounded out on the actual road.
I want to hear this at like 4,000 RPM though.
I do too, but like I can't in the right state of mind.
Well, if you lock it in second, then what's going to happen?
I mean, perhaps.
You know, as long as you're not shifting under heavy load.
Okay, that's definitely second. Oh yeah, because it is in second.
Yeah.
That sounds so awesome.
That does sound awesome. It's a Honda Odyssey.
Oh my god.
That is nasty.
Oh. Oops. Just,
What did you do?
I think I might have stalled it.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. Somehow it survived. You've got no idea how relieved I am that it did. This is actually fantastic news because I'll be taking the Odyssey to Carlisle Imports and Performance next month. I actually purchased my tickets for it before I even got the van running, so the fact that it is running now is a huge relief. Now granted, it's not quite in a condition where I would take it to the show yet, but it's really close, so I'm feeling really good about it. Let me know down in the comments if you're planning on going too. It should be a really awesome time. You can come and say hi to me and I could check out your builds. Anyways, back to the test drive. As you probably noticed, there were a few things that I should probably address based on the results. First and foremost is the hard shifting. At the time of writing this, I actually had a breakthrough on the shift quality control, so stay tuned for that. That's actually coming up pretty soon. Second, if you're enjoying this video so far and you want to help more people find it, go ahead and drop a like. I really appreciate it. The third issue was the lack of power at wide open throttle. This was likely caused by me just not having enough fuel pumped in and my ignition timing being a little conservative just because I was erring on the side of safety. And to top it off, there's a bunch of little things that I need to fix, like the speedometer not working and the tachometer reporting inaccurately. So a whole lot of little things, but nothing should be too terribly difficult to address. Now, the one thing that seems like it won't be an easy fix is my coolant temperature gauge just being maxed out all the time for some reason. So yeah, at this point, all that's really left is to keep refining the tune, both on the transmission controller and the ECU, and just kind of keep driving, keep tweaking, and work on those little fixes I need to do. Make sure you're subscribed because next week I'm actually going to start doing a lot more of test driving and talk a little bit about tuning theory. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to factory power levels and maybe get those shifts feeling a little bit better. Yeah, that's actually how bad the base calibration AEM provided is. It's for a J30 instead of a J35, so there's a huge difference there. Anyways, the weather's starting to get nice, and I've got that breakthrough I'm working on with the transmission controller, so I'll catch you guys later. Oh, and by the way, I just found out that my car club's going to the drag strip next weekend, and so that'll actually be really cool. I'll get to see how the Odyssey's doing performance-wise. Hopefully I'll be able to beat my previous record of 16.48 seconds. Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard because that was when it didn't have any performance modifications aside from taking some weight out and completely unbolting the exhaust. So if I can't beat that, I know my tune really needs some work. Or something's completely wrong with the engine. I don't know. So until next time, stay classy.